How do you make the world a sweeter place? Find some inspiration with beekeeper Aliza Stanton on this episode of Food, Flowers, and Fun Visits with Farm Women from Around the World. If you're the woman who does it all, farm work, housework, bookwork, homework, getting up at the break of dawn, this is the podcast for you.
How do you multiply by fractions now?
Get away from the cares of the day. Restock, rootstock, feedstock, seed stock. Chat with women around the world who raise food, flowers, and fun. With your host, Kay Castrataro. That's me. Welcome back to Food, Flowers, and Fun. I am your host, Kay Castrataro. And as always, we are sponsored by Penlight for Farmers, helping you create purposeful farm lives full of time, energy, and abundance. And today I have with me Aliza Stanton from Aliza's Honey, and you are going to love this woman. Before we get started, I'm just going to put a plug in for her stuff, okay? We've got some hand and body salve here that she sent me, and this amazing whipped honey with cinnamon in it. And if you want something that literally you can eat with a spoon and just like keep going, yeah, that'd be it. Aliza, welcome and thank you for the treats.
Oh, thank you. I wanted to send you some so you'll understand what I'm talking about. Because while you testing it, you just fall in love with it.
She's not wrong, people, because I will tell you, like I literally scooped it with my finger and I was sold on this stuff. Like I could eat it with a spoon. I put it on toast. I won't let my kids touch it. Like, no, that's mommy's treat. Don't touch it. So, but Aliza, you did not start being a beekeeper. Tell us how you got into this whole crazy world of bees.
Oh, it was insane. I got into it by chance. And I never thought that I'm going to work with bees. I used to be afraid of bees. You know, if bees came around me, I was scared of them. I didn't know nothing about them. And one day I was attacked by a beehive in my backyard. And we realized that we have a hive in the backyard. And instead of killing it, removing it, we decided to put it in a box with a glass window on it and to watch how they form, what they do, how they do it. And at the time, my son was 5 years old. So we thought it's going to be a very educational thing for him to see without knowing that it's going to be educational for me too.
Mm. Well, this was not, I want people to realize this was not like when you're talking about being attacked by bees, this was not like you're out in the backyard and you're picking a flower and you get stung. Like, that's not what this was. This was a literal, like, bee attack. Tell them what this looked like, because the fact that you're still working with bees after this is amazing to me. Like, you've got courage, lady.
So usually a hive is about between 40,000 bees to 60,000 bees. It's massive. And after learning what's happened, I realized they are African bees because they were very sensitive to the noise. I was cutting the grass and they thought that the hive is being attacked. So they all came and tried to attack me. So I ran into the house, and I'm talking about maybe 50 sting.
And the bees are following you, though. The bees followed you into the house.
Followed me into the house, into the bathroom. I ran into the house. I closed the door in the house. And learning afterwards, I did the right thing. If you are getting attacked by bees, run as fast as you can and as far as you can. And then I went into the bathroom and I closed the door, and the bees that came in with me, they all sting me. And Yes, I didn't go out of the bathroom for about 2 hours afterwards, but
Oh, I gotta tell you, like we've had honeybees around our place all the time, and my parent because my parents have apple orchards, and so we would often have beekeepers who are like, "Hey, we'll come and bring our bees to pollinate your orchards," and we're like, "Fabulous!" So they would come, and I remember one time we had a couple of hives, and they were right up by the driveway, and I had a team of draft horses and I would do school tours going by them with like kids in the back, and the bees would come out. And every time we went on a ride, and looking back, I'm like, maybe this wasn't the smartest thing that I've ever done. But I we would drive by them and the bees would come out and they'd swirl around our heads and it was like they were checking us out and they'd be like, "Oh, no, you're no good." And then they'd just go back and they'd leave us alone. And so when the bees would come out, that's what I'd tell the kids. I'm like, "Just stay really calm and just watch them. They're going to fly around and they're going to be like, 'Oh, you're not a flower.' And then they're going to go back to the hive." And that's what they did. That is not what your bees do. So, like, I had to take years to get over it because I used to get afraid of bees as well. And so, that experience with honeybees, I was like, no, they're actually pretty cool. Like, as long as you don't mess with them too much, like they're
yes,
not going to attack you.
yes.
I don't think I'd have had the courage to go back and do what you did. So you guys not only captured that one hive, but then you decided you were gonna like capture other ones. How did you expand into that?
Well, we start learning about bees, and we start getting involved with the bee society and talk to other beekeepers. And as we went down the rabbit hole of reading all what's happening with bees, there was a lot of talk about colonies collapsing. At one point, beekeeper were complaining that 60% of the hives just boom collapsed. They call
Yeah.
it colony collapsing. Even 60 Minutes made a big
Yeah.
story about it,
Yep.
what's happening to the bees, because it's a big fear. I mean, third of our food supply depend on bees. If we're not going to have bees, we're not going to have all these beautiful, colorful fruit, vegetable, flowers. We the only thing that will be able to grow is wheat and corn, and
Mhm.
that was one of the things that got me really interested in that is like,
Yeah.
whoa, we are facing something that hopefully we'll be able to recover to come back from it. We don't want, not have all these beautiful fruit and vegetables that we eat, especially here in California. This
Right.
is what we do in California.
Yeah.
California is a very big agriculture state, and especially the almond. We are the biggest almond growers in the world.
Yeah.
So this is what got me even more interested in, hey, let's see if we can do something about it.
Yeah.
And we had a friend that had a hive, uh, a colony of bees uh, got into the roof, and they asked us if we can help them. And that was our first bee removal. And then we took the bees
So
and
how
we
did you do it? Yeah.
relocated.
How did you remove them? So some of you are beekeepers, so you're going to be sitting there going, "Oh, this is very typical." But I tend to leave hives alone, and I'm just like, "You do your thing, I'm going to do my thing," and I'll walk by them and I'll say, "Oh, pretty bees," and all that, but I don't want to mess with them. So having them in my house, like in the walls or in the attic, that's like a nightmare for me. So how did you go about removing these bees for your first time? Like the only other hive you'd ever done was the one in your backyard. So how did you
Well,
do
it
this?
was it was a lot of trial and error, a lot of laughter, a lot of stinks. I mean, a lot of it. It's nobody was there to teach us. Nobody. It was just getting feedbacks from other beekeeper. I mean, what's so beautiful about the era that we live in, we can talk to beekeepers all over the world. So you get a bit of feedbacks. But in the end of the day, it's a hands down. I can teach you all day long to do a bee removal, but when you get there and you open the hive, it's like, how would you feel if I open you roof of your house and look inside?
Yep.
You are going to attack me. So it was a lot of sting, and you learn as you go. And this is it. This is how you become pro. And a lot of it, it's also depend on the element. You realize that a lot of it doesn't depend on you. You learn to do the bee removal early in the morning or a little bit in the evening.
Yep.
If it's an emergency removal, then yeah, obviously you do it during the day. And then you realize how to treat them too.
Now
And
walk
in
us
the
through it. Like what kind of equipment do you bring? Like what kind of boxes are you
so
using? Like how do you lure them? I'm assuming there has to be like a luring process where you're saying, I don't want you here, I want you here. Like how do you do that? Give me the
so
nuts and bolts.
over time we found a way to do it in half of the time, because a lot of people think that when you do a bee removal and do it that way is to find the queen and then remove the queen and everybody will follow. But this process can take you hours and hours. Could just imagine looking for a queen in a hive with 40,000 bees buzzing all around you, really upset that you open their door and trying and feel threatened, and they're all in attack mode. It's like boom, 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 boom.
Ugh.
And so we found a way to do it, which worked now perfectly. My husband developed a box that we can vacuum them softly. And by the way, now it's a patent. We thinking about start selling that vacuum. So we vacuum all the bees really, really gently into the box, put them in the box, then we cut up the comb and we put the comb in frames, and then we put them inside the new home, and we dump all the bees that we vacuum into it together with the queen, close the door, and pray that they're gonna love their new home. That's it.
We use all these strategies and then we pray hard.
Then we pray hard. Then you understand that a lot of it, you don't have a lot of control over a lot of things.
Yeah.
And sometimes the bees, especially we deal with a lot of African bees, so they have a bit of different behavioral
Yeah.
uh, living. So sometimes they don't like it. They just say, hey, what kind of a home is that? We're leaving. And they're all going to fly and leave. And some of them just loving them. It's like, oh, this is really nice. And we put also a little bit of honey on top of it, so they'll feel that there's food enough for them.
Yeah.
And in that process, we accumulated about 400 hives. So
Wow.
it's a lot, but compared to other beekeepers, it's not a lot. I talk to beekeepers that have 10,000 hives. And
Right. Well,
yeah, but
400 sounds like a lot to me.
yes, yeah.
And so talk to me about that because you say that you do have mostly Africanized bees, and so they do have their own personality. And yet you were telling me that one of the nice things about them is that they are more resilient, and so you don't seem to have as much issues with like colony collapse. Is that correct?
So yes, exactly. The colony collapse you hear a lot from commercial beekeepers, the one that will drive their bees into the almond pollination, and then you'll have cross. They call it drifting. Bees will drift from one hive to another, and this is how you mix with diseases and all what's caused the colony collapsing.
Oh,
So, but over
interesting.
time, beekeepers learn how to offset that and treat that well.
Right.
So we still, when commercial beekeepers come back from the almond, they let the bees rest a bit. It's they're treating it a bit differently, so to not experience the devastating colony collapse.
So it sounds like some of
We
it might have been stress, even. Like I know that it's still kind of an
Yes,
enigma. What I
yes,
understand about colony collapse disorder is that it's still not terribly well understood. But it
yes,
makes sense to me that being hauled around from environment to environment would be incredibly stressful, as
very
it
much
is for
so.
any of us. Like traveling, traveling is stressful. Oh my goodness, when I have to drive up
Yes,
to like Johnston, 45 minutes away, I'm like, oh, I'm exhausted. My poor me. So if you think about going from place to place and always kind
yes,
of having to reacclimate to a new environment, I hadn't even
exactly,
considered that until just this moment that the bees really
exactly.
are, those
Yeah,
commercial bees are under an awful lot of stress because every time they go to a new farm, it's a
yes, they
completely new
work.
environment. It's like they have to figure out where they are all over again, figure out where all the food is, and it's like this
Yeah,
whole,
yeah,
it's not like their
yeah,
patterns can stay set. They have to adapt a
yes,
lot. So I can see
yes.
why resting for a while in between would be
Will be good
helpful.
for them.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, but we are, because we do beekeeping differently. We're not a commercial beekeeper. Our bees are more African bees, because African bees swarm more often. They
Mm.
can swarm about 14 to 60 times a year, which usually European bees will swarm maybe one or twice a year. And they'll build their hive on everywhere. They can pick an old tire and build a hive there, in a barbecue. At one point, somebody left a stroller outside, and they build inside the stroller. So yeah, and the love water meter. They go into those water meter and they build. And African bees build smaller hives because they're more used to a hot climate, so they don't feel the need to store so much honey like the European bees for winter.
Oh,
So they
interesting.
build smaller hives, they swarm more often, they produce the time of producing is smaller.
Okay.
Um, European bees, it'll take longer to be a grown bees. So with the African bees, it's faster. And so this is what we're dealing with. And they give them a nickname, killer bees, which the only reason they give them that name is because they get agitated faster. Everything agitates them. Even a power tool next to their hives, they'll feel threatened, and they send the entire hive to attack you.
Wow.
The European bees will send just, a couple of bees, they'll attack you after you, like you say, with your experience. When you walked away, they left you alone. With the African bees, they're much more aggressive. They'll follow you farther, and they'll sting you more than the European bees. That's why they gave them that name.
Yeah.
But they're very much resilient, and we work with them. When we relocate the hives, we requeen them, and we have about 60% success rate with requeen them, because some of them don't like the new queen. They don't like the scent of her,
Yep.
or so they either kill her or leave the hive.
Yep.
So that's why they're so unpredictable, that it's very interesting to work with them. You learn something new every day from those bees.
Yeah. Yeah. So interesting. I mean, there's just so many interesting things. And you were talking about during our screening call, you were talking about how they produce a lot less honey per hive than the European honeybees. Um,
Yes.
and yet you have this amazing business that you're building with all of these cool bee products. So, talk to me about when it was that you shifted from, like, did you have the idea that you were going to be making a honey business when you first started collecting these bees, or was it basically just like, huh, this is cool. Let's see how many hives we can get. Tell me how that progressed.
No, none of that. None of that. We were just trying to do something that we didn't know where it's going to take us. At the time, my husband had a full-time job, and I had previously a different business, and we didn't know where it's going to take us. But we just thought that it's going to be nice to save the bees and bring some colonies home and learn from it and see how cool they are. And we were so proud when we had the first jar of honey. And it's the bees are the most fascinating creature, I tell you that. I watched a panel of scientists. There were maybe 8 or 10 of them, and they were talking about agriculture, nature, and everything. And in the end of that panel, they asked them, who do you think is the most important animal on earth? And they all raised their hand and say the bees.
Mm,
So it was kind of a privilege to learn something so amazing. I mean, every fact that you learn about the bees, you are in awe.
yeah.
It's the most amazing little creatures that we don't know nothing about them. We didn't learn at school nothing about them. And they literally hold their world, the food, on their back.
Yeah.
So just to begin with that was, we just wanted to learn so much just about that.
And what a really powerful thing, because as humans, we often look at ourselves as being like the center of everything. Like we're the
Mhm.
movers, the doers, the shakers. We're the ones who, we have opposable thumbs and we've got speech, baby. Like we can make tools, we can put man on the moon, we can do all these amazing things. And yet when I listen to you, I'm like, yeah, and we all rely on something this big, because without
Yes.
this, there
Yes.
goes 90% of our food supply. So
Yes.
it's like that, what a humbling thing to really put
Yes.
ourselves back in perspective and be like, yeah, humans are pretty cool. And there is so much that we have no control over.
100%. 100%, especially with the way we live today. Today we live in big cities. I
Yeah.
mean, the city that I'm living in is 1.5 million people. Can you imagine? The only way we get our source of food, honey, and everything is go to a grocery store. We
Yeah.
don't see in the cities. I mean, we see a bees and we're like, oh shoot, I'm scared of bees. Leave me alone. You know. So it's really fascinating to see today that a lot of us don't understand how much we depend on the element and how much a lot of it is not up to us. I mean, we got a glimpse of it in COVID, and sometimes when we have a natural disaster, how how we so into control of the elements
And how
that
we take advantage of it, like at the risk of sounding, getting I don't know, political or environmental or whatnot. But I'm just thinking about what we're doing, what we do in the world. And COVID was, I've said this before on the show, but COVID was a real eye opener for me, because
yes,
when we saw what happened to the environment around the world, when people stopped doing what we normally do, when we just
yes,
stopped, we didn't do anything
yes,
else. We just stopped polluting at the levels that we were. Like all of a sudden, rivers that had been brown were blue, and people who had not been able to see mountains because of the smog suddenly are like, oh
yes.
my gosh, look at the mountains. We haven't seen those in generations. Like that kind of clarity for me was really, I have never lost that. Like there's something so intense about
Yes,
that. And so even now, like I'm thinking about what's going on in Iran and how we're bombing things to the point that we have oil rain falling. And I think about that and I'm like, we're destroying the very thing that keeps us alive
yes,
without at all considering the implications. Like, imagine that. Imagine having
yes,
oil rain coming down on you. And imagine that you've got your bees out there and they're
Yes.
trying to fly in oil rain, or they're trying to collect nectar or pollen from plants that are covered in an oil slick. Like, it can't function. The system just won't function. And as people, we just commit these acts and then we figure, well, we'll figure it out. It'll be okay. But the
Well, let me give you
arrogance,
a deep,
so
a
arrogant.
bit, yeah, a bit of hope. I trust Mother Nature. Mother
Mm,
Nature will take care of everything. If you overdo it, she'll tell you, hey, I'm bringing you a disaster and you're going to need to redo things again. And so that's why, human nature, we always going to do things that we do. We think that we're smarter than everybody,
mm,
but then who's in control? you know
yeah.
and then this is when we see. So I trust Mother Nature will teach us to adjust, to do things differently,
Mm,
because in the end of the day, this is what we have, this earth,
yeah.
and we definitely need to take care of it and not abuse it. But when we abuse it, it's over. We learn that we can't do that, so over
Let's hope
time,
so. Elisa,
I
I
like
love
to
that
say,
voice of hope. And I am hoping that we figure it out because we've been talking about this for so many decades and
yeah.
hundreds of years now in our country just alone, and thinking about how, man, it really does take the disasters though to make us sit back and pay
But it's
attention. So
yes,
let's
yes.
wouldn't it be
Hopefully,
great
it's
if we could
not
learn it without the
gonna.
disaster?
Yeah, hopefully, it's not gonna be a disaster that's end humanity. But I don't believe in that. I believe that it's gonna be a disaster to the point that we're gonna have to make an adjustment.
Mm,
So just the thought of doing adjustment, for example, coming back to the bees. I
yeah.
mean, bee removal 20 years ago, when I used to tell people I do live bee removal, they used to ask me, what is that, what is it?
Wow, didn't even know
And
what it
now when I
was.
tell people bee removal, live bee removal, they understand everything. So what brought us to do the bee removal the way we do it and relocating and save the bees is the 60% collapse of colony, a disaster.
Yeah.
So this is the way I see the work working. I
Mm,
mean, we're gonna destroy the oceans. We're gonna get to the point that we're gonna have to rebuild it. And this is
mm,
what we're doing. You see a lot of people around the world trying to save corals, trying to save
yep.
this, trying to save that, trying to save the bees, trying to do things differently.
Yeah.
So this is where my hope come.
Yeah.
It's hopefully it's not gonna get to the point that the disaster gonna there's no way back from it.
Mm.
But the way I see it, look, we came back from the disaster of the bees collapse. We doing things differently and better. So this is where my hope.
I love
So
that. I love that. And I love, your example of, you're talking about the bees and then you were also mentioning the oceans and stuff. And we're not all called to take care of the same thing. Like, you're not called to take care of the oceans, but you're
yes,
called to take care of the bees. And
yes,
so you are, with your 400 hives, there are 400 hives of bees that could have just been killed because somebody didn't want them where they were. And
exactly.
now they're there and they're alive and they're doing their thing, and we're eating their products and we're using them to keep our skin nice and soft, and we're doing all of these amazing things with them. So, like, I think that is a message I really want people to take away from it as well, that message of hope, but also that every single thing we do makes a difference. And so
Absolutely.
even if it's a small thing, like, you know, find the thing that you're passionate about and do that one thing. Recycling.
Yes,
Recycle your crap. Like, just recycle. It's
yes,
one small thing, mow your lawn one time less a year. Like, one
yes.
little change, if we all do that in our own ways, we really can help to support
Absolutely,
Everything.
and draw from the bees that little creatures doing
One thing.
just one thing, pollinating flowers, make a huge difference. So grow plants that will be adaptable to the animals from your area. That's
Mm,
gonna enjoy it and produce more and do more. Kill less, eat
kill
more vegetables and fruit. I mean, those poor cows, let them live a bit, you know?
My poor cattle farmers who've been on here might be like, no, eat more meat.
Well, we
we
need
need
a
we
lot of,
need to we need the whole system. Like what I
we need
always
the
tell
whole
people is we
system.
need the whole system. I don't think you can take any one part out of the system completely.
100%.
We just,
100%.
but again, if you're a
Yeah,
vegetarian, be a vegetarian. If
yeah,
you're a meat eater, be a meat eater and do it as responsibly as you can. Like do it in a way
100%.
that takes the best care of both the people and the environment. I just love that. I love so much about that.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, this is it. And this is what nature is all about. We all do our small part and pray that everything will go well because again, none of it is up to you.
Yeah, so many things outside of our control. So
Yeah.
so I'm gonna pull us back into this amazing business that you have because I just love it. So you got your first jar of honey and you said,
So,
"Wow, this honey is amazing." And
yes.
now you're making all kinds of value-added products out of your honey. So talk to me about how
Yeah.
that process developed over time.
Yeah. So when COVID hit us, we all sat at home
Oh, COVID.
doing nothing. So you had two options: do something productive or go on social media and argue with everybody how should you handle COVID. And I did
No,
that.
we
So
wouldn't do
me,
that
after
on
two
social
days, I
media.
shut my computer and I said, enough of it. I'm going to go to nature. And in the end of the day, like always, Mother Nature will take care of us. If we have to die, we'll die. If not, not. But we're going to continue doing what we're doing. That's it. And so I went home, sat with everybody else at home, and the bee removal business suddenly picked up a notch because everybody stayed home and they realized that they have bees and
Because now they're
and
out playing in their yard and they're stepping on bees' nests and they're saying, wait, we got to get rid of this.
yes, and you see family going to the backyard making noise and they're getting attacked with bees. So the phone didn't stop ringing. And I said, okay, I'll go and help with the bee removal a bit. And so we have an area, we have four different areas where we live our hives. We have three other farmers that we park the hives there to help pollinate their crops in exchange for a spot. And then we have one spot in Ramona. And we have a huge big cannox that we accumulate the honey that we harvest over the 20 years. We put it in seal bucket and put them there.
Oh, so
All the
you
beeswax,
were just harvesting the honey and leaving it there? Like you weren't.
living in there. Honey doesn't go bad. We'll do something with it. We used to sell to some people in wholesale beeswax, honey, not thinking we didn't know what we're gonna do with it. So in
Wow.
COVID, I help with cleaning up the honey and cleaning up the wax. I had time to do that. And I walked into the Canucks and there's row and row of crystallized honey and beeswax. And then I said, you know what? Maybe it's time to switch a business. Let's do something with all that.
Yeah.
And this is when I came up with the whipped honey. Farmers call it creamed honey, spun honey, whipped honey, and
I
you
call
take the
it yummy
crystal
honey.
yummy honey. So you take the crystallized honey and you beat. Have you ate crystallized honey it's kind of grainy.
I
It's
love
when
I
you eat
love
it.
it though because I feel like it's sweeter. I know that that's probably not true, but there's
Yeah.
something about the crystallization that it just makes it feel more like sugar. Like,
Yes, yes, some people love that.
I
So we
love it.
take so it's kind of grainy. So the way we do it, we beat it up, we whip it for a couple of hours until we break the crystal and make it creamier, and then we add the cinnamon. That's it. And that way, I wanted to keep it 100% raw unfiltered. So you get, because a lot of people use raw unfiltered honey for their allergies.
Yeah.
So you can enjoy a yummy honey with your allergies.
Yeah.
And then we came up with the idea to mix it with dry fruit, with
Yeah, I've
freeze
got
dried fruit.
lemon and raspberry. What else have you
Yes,
got in there? I think there a lavender one too?
there's the lavender. The lavender amazing in your tea, and so yeah. So I started experimenting, trying. I had 2 years to play with it,
Wow.
and the hand and body salve, I did it priorly for myself skin, because I like all natural stuff. So I was playing with it, and this is what we did. So with the honey we did that, with the beeswax we did that. So when we do the removal, nothing go to waste. After we clean up, when we remove the comb and we remove the honey, we clean it up well. Nothing is thrown away. Everything is recycled. The beeswax is recycled. The honey is recycled, and everybody enjoying it. People loving it at the farmers market,
Yeah.
and I think it's I'm very happy that I was blessed with this kind of knowledge and the guts to do something like that,
Mm.
because
Talk to me about the guts because I think the knowledge and the guts, I do think they go together because, I love it when I hear your story and it's like you walked into this place and all of a sudden it was like, wait a minute, we have all of this? Like it's almost like you didn't even realize you had this amazing raw material sitting there. And when you
yes,
saw it, it was like, well, we can do something with this. What can we do with this? Because
well,
a lot of people might have seen
yeah,
crystallized honey and been like, well, that's a waste because now we can't sell crystallized honey. But you said, no, let's figure out what we're going to do with it.
yes.
And I find that just inspirational. Yeah.
Yes, 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 and I don't know. I trust the universe. I trust God, Mother Nature. I think it's all the same. And sometimes we receive a gift to do, like you. You're a great hostess. You
Oh,
ask the right question.
thank you.
You have the right back and forth. I feel so comfortable talking to you. I don't think I can do what you're doing. So
My grandfather has always said, if there's one thing Kristen can do, it's talk. So,
oh, you see, so
but I like getting other people to talk too. So thank you for that.
so I see it as a gift. I see that we
Aw,
receive gifts
blushing.
to do. Yes, we receive gifts to do things that you never thought you're gonna do. Did you think that you're gonna do podcasts? No, I
Never in a
never.
million
So
years. Never in a million years. Nope, nope.
yes,
I would have imagined that I had a face for radio, baby, but not that like never would have thought about doing this. And again, you talk about the guts. It was kind of one of those things where I'm like, oh, a podcast. I like talking to people. I think farmers should have their stories told. I'll bet I could do that. And it was the same thing where I know nothing about podcasting and I'm like, I've got a Zoom account. I guess we just do do a podcast. And
bravo, bravo.
I think that's where like I have a consultant who calls it inspired action. It's like when you get the inspiration, you have a choice to either follow it and go with it and say, all right, I think there's something here, or you can talk yourself out of it. And you didn't talk yourself out of it. You looked at that and said, no, let's just follow it and see what happens. Kind of like you did with that first beehive. Like
Yes,
I would not have captured those bees that chased me into a bathroom. Keeping them around, I'll be honest, I would have been the woman out there saying, "You kill that beehive. I don't want it here." And what a horrible thing for me to say, you know. But I'm
Yes, yes,
honest, like I wouldn't
yeah,
want the bees that attacked me staying on my property. But you
yes,
guys said, "You know what? This is a huge opportunity. It's an opportunity to learn. And so
yes,
let's try this." And
yes.
yeah, so you ended up creating all of these amazing products, and I am gonna, I've never done this before on a show, but I'm like unboxing. So this is the salve. This is the first time that I've used it. And
Yeah.
I got it oh my gosh, it is so smooth. Like I'm putting it on my hands, and I have dry hands because I have a wood stove. So yeah, totally smooth. You guys, like it's amazing.
Yeah.
And this is a lavender one, right?
Yeah, I put a bit essential
It's
oil to
got
make it
lavender, so it doesn't smell waxy at all.
yeah.
But it's just a teeny bit of lavender, so it's not overwhelming because
Yes.
I don't like overwhelming scents. My system can't handle it. But these,
Yeah.
like I can like actually smell it, and it's soft.
Yeah.
It's a soft lavender. Okay, so I support this. I also have used your lip balm that you sent me, and
Yeah.
that is another amazing thing that it goes on and it's so soft and smooth. And I
Yes.
kind of keep waiting for the waxy, like lip balm feel, but it doesn't happen. It's just soft and smooth and good stuff. So you
Yes.
created these amazing, now I smell like lavender. Oh, it's so
Oh,
relaxing. It is
I
so
want to
relaxing.
smell
Can you smell me out there? It is a nice lavender. I got to tell you, because sometimes lavender can be overpowering, and this is not at all.
Yeah.
This is like whew, I'm having fun with this. Oh, that's
Yeah.
sorry. I got distracted. This is why I don't unbox things, I guess, on, on
Oh
podcasts.
no, I
I
mean
get obsessed.
this is the reaction I get all the time at the farmers market because I let everybody try the whipped honey. I let people try the hand and body salve, and this is the reaction I get, and then people coming back for more, and it's 100% natural. 100% beeswax. You know, I've noticed there's a lot of synthetic beeswax out there, a lot of synthetic essential oil too. So I make
Yeah.
sure that I use 100% essential oil, 100% beeswax, and it's not me that making the product. It's the beeswax.
Oh, I
This
love
is
to
what
listen to
beeswax
you.
is all about. I mean,
Listen
uh,
listen to the humility here, boys and girls. Like it's not me. I just take what the bees do, and I just put it in a pretty package and send it to you. But you know,
that's it. That's
I you
it.
you do a little bit more than that, I think. But it is amazing. Like it really this smells so good. Like I cannot tell you guys. I'm very sensitive to smells, and I cannot tell you. And the longer it's on my hands, like my hands
Oh,
just
the
so
better.
it's so soft. Like they feel
Yeah.
very, very happy. Like you can feel them being nurtured. It's a really cool thing. So so you sell at farmers markets. How many farmers markets are you at?
I'm at four farmers market during the week. And don't forget that after the farmers market, I have a little area that I make everything. So it's not just going to the farmers market, it's coming back home and do everything, clean up the wax, clean up the honey. And I do have help. I mean, my husband helped me. My son was helping with the bee removal a bit, and so everybody asked me, how do you do it? And I said, I don't know. It just keep me out of trouble. That's it. It's keep me busy. It's you understand how what a powerful thing nature is. This is the most amazing thing. I'm every day in awe because I didn't grow up around it. I grew up in big cities, in Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, Copenhagen, Paris, Los Angeles, San Diego. I always lived in apartment, in city, walking in sidewalk, maybe occasionally in the weekend go on a hike, but I never was so close to nature, to the element, and it's a completely different world. It's a gorgeous world. They have different set of rules, and don't understand me wrong. I love human interaction. Human are the most amazing, complex creatures,
Oh, that is so
and
well said. So well said.
and
Amazing and complex. Yes.
we are very complex. I mean, you can have million different opinions than me. I don't see that with the bees or with the dogs or with the cat. They
Yeah.
have their own set of rules. We are more all over the place. So it was very nice to see both worlds, the nature versus human big cities.
Yeah.
And it's made me realize that a lot of what we think we have control over, we actually don't. It's a pure illusion.
Yeah.
So get with whatever you want. Don't overanalyze it. Just
Mm,
go and do it. Just go and do it, whatever. And you know what? If you fail, so what? So what? Nobody's here to tell you you need to do things in a certain way. This is what's so beautiful about humanity. You can do it any way you want it, not like the nature world. You have just, boom, a set of rules and you're done. You
yeah.
go, you forge the flower, you come home, you make the bees, you take care of the queen, and you're done. This is your job from the day you were born to the day you die.
Mm.
And with us, it's much beautifully much complex. So
Oh,
if you
I love, so
integrate,
I want to sit with that for a minute, Elisa, because wow, that is just like landing on me so heavily. Like I'm that's really settling somewhere deep inside where that idea of like the bees have a very valuable job to do, and every bee has one job. It doesn't matter how many, like you said, what, 40,000 bees in one
yes,
hive. Every single hive of 40 to 60,000 bees has one job. You go out,
yes,
you get the nectar, you get the pollen, you bring it home, you make beeswax, you make honey, you feed the babies, you take care of the queen, you go back, rinse and repeat. Day after day for your very short life. Bees have very short lives.
yes,
And that's what you do. But for us, the potential for people is limitless, and we can use
yes,
that to be either super, super destructive or
yes,
super, super creative. And
yes,
like, how amazing to think about that. Like, okay, we can't control what's outside of us.
yes,
I talk to my farmers all the time about that. I'm like, in some ways, we are completely at the mercy of the elements and
yes,
the politicians with their tariffs and their laws and like, all of this stuff. Like, okay, that's what we have. And yet, we always have control over how we react. We have
yes,
control over what we are going to do in that situation, how we are
yes,
going to view it. If nothing else, we have control over our attitudes. And
yes,
just by changing our attitudes to looking for potential instead of
yes,
focusing on disaster, it can
yes.
change everything. Like you
I
could
love
have
how
looked
you
at
put
those
it.
bees, and those bees could have been the worst thing that ever happened to you. And you'd have been
Yes,
like, I can't believe I got stung by all these bees, and look at what we did. And instead, it was like, wow, that was kind of crazy. And what can I learn from that? Like, what
yes, yes,
I love that.
yes,
I love that.
yes,
And what we do today, the productive thing that we're creating today doesn't have to be the thing that we do for the rest of our lives. Like maybe next week we find some new area of passion. It's like,
hundred
oh,
percent.
I can do something new. Like,
100%. 100%. And I started the Aliza's honey, which I never thought I'm gonna do that at age 55. I mean, can you imagine me in my 20 partying, clubbing in Tel Aviv or Paris? We'll come up to that. That's why keep open mind, keep look at the positive of things.
yeah,
Be the creativity. It's ill just open mind. That's it. This is how our world works.
yeah,
This is what it is. And we need to remind ourselves that every day, instead of bickering with each other and doing destructive things make the world a better place.
Yeah, if we put
That's
all that energy that we spend
yes,
whining and complaining and fighting with each other, if we were to put just a fraction of that energy towards saying,
yes,
how are we more alike than we are different?
yes,
What are the ways we can work together so that everybody benefits? Because one of my other big beliefs that I become more and more convinced of every day is that we look at things from this scarcity. Like there's only a
yes,
finite amount, and if I have more, that means somebody else has to have less. And if somebody else has more, it means I have to have
yes,
less. And I
yes,
I 100% reject that. I believe that we can create as much as we need of whatever it is.
yes,
We can make it all work for everybody if we
yes,
only work at it. If we only care enough about each
yes,
other
yes,
to be creative and think
yes,
outside the box, outside the hive.
yeah. Outside the
Oh my
hive. There you
gosh,
go.
think outside the hive. Like, oh, yes, it's not just our hive. Every hive matters. Like, let's take
Yes,
care of all the hives. Oh my gosh,
yes,
how we got into this. Oh, and I'm looking at this, and this happens to me every single week where I'm like, oh, we're out of time. And I'm
oh
really
wow,
wish I really wish I had time to sit and talk to you about the 20-year-old Aliza who was clubbing, because it sounds like she was quite the character. And I wish we had talked a little bit more about her too, but this has been so
yes.
rich and so encouraging for me anyway. Um, so this is the point in our show where I always kind of slow it down and I ask my one signature question, and that is, if you had one piece of advice that you felt every farmer should know, what would that be?
Stay humble, trust the process, trust the element, trust God, and everything will work out. Everything always work out. This is
Mm.
one of the things. Sometimes we think that, oh my God, that's it. No, you will find a way to make it better, and always try to make things better. That's it.
Oh. Yeah, okay, we could talk for hours just about that, but
Yes,
it can work out and we can always make it better. Like we always have the potential
always,
to do
always,
something better with the situation we're in. And the situation
always.
itself, I tell people, the situation doesn't always change, but how we interact in that situation
Yes,
can make all the difference. And we always
yes.
have that power. Always, always, always.
Always, always. Yes.
Oh, Elisa, thank you so much. I have really enjoyed our conversation, and
Yeah.
hopefully we'll get you on again here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to say thank you to all of you out there for joining us, and we will see you next time on Food, Flowers, and Fun. Bye.
Bye.
How do you multiply by fractions, Mom?
Farmers calling, our show is all done. Goodbye, farewell, so long, adieu. See you next week, same time, same place for Food, Flowers, and Fun. Go in peace. Visit us at www.penlightfarmers.com.